Aifo.
Mongolia. This word evokes the power of an ancient empire, eternally blue skies, milky white gears, magically green steppes, and Gobi Desert's golden sand, and Altai mountain peaks. Mongolia, right in the heart of Asia, is one of the planet's most fascinating countries. Its immense spaces provoke unique sensations and make people believe they've been thrown in another world and in a different time. Part of the population is nomad and lives inside the typical felt tents, the so-called gers, which can be completely dismantled and carried on animal-drawn carts. The rest of the Mongolian population lives in the few cities, the biggest being the capital city, Ulaanbaatar, whose 800,000 inhabitants represent 1/3 of the entire Mongolian population. The AIFO, Italian Association Friends of Raoul Follerau, has worked in Mongolia since 1992. It is a non-government organization, official partner of the World Health Organization, whose several projects in Mongolia deal with disabled people. People with disability represent 5% of the Mongolian population.
Монгол улс Аз твийн төвд оршдог 1.5 сая хавтгай дөрвөлжин километр газар нутагтай. Нийт хүн ам нь 2.4 сая. Өөрөөр хэлбэл 1 квадрат километр газар нутагт 1.1 хүн оршдог. За нүүдлийн аж ахуй эрхэлдэг, нүүдэлчин амьдралтай 3.2 хөдөө орон нутагт амьдардаг. Зам тээвэр харилцаа холбоо дутуу хөгжсөн. Тэгээ ас хоол амьдарч байгаа нийт хүн ам төвн дотроо хөгжлийн бэрхшээлтэй хүмүүс эмнэлгийн сэргээн засалтын үйлчилгээ авч чаддгүй байсан. Нийгэм хамт олон тулгуурлан сэргээн засах хандлагыг анх Монгол улсад үүсгэх одоо үндсэн шийдвэр нь болж өгсөн. За энэ хүү хандлагыг Монгол улсын засгийн газрын хүсэлтээр Дэлхийн эрүүл мэндийн байгууллага Aifo байгууллагын хамтарсан альчлалаар анх удаа хэрэгжүүлж эхэлснээс хойш 15 жил болж одоогоор хамт олон төрөлхсөн сэргээн засалтын хандлага маань олон талыг хамарсан хөтөлбөр болон хэрэгжиж байна.
We're now leaving towards southwest Mongolia. We'll get to the Gobi Desert, traveling through fairy tale sceneries and admiring the different shapes and colors of this beautiful land. The immense Mongolian territory has no smooth roads. They are mostly tracks full of potholes and practicable and ready to go only by jeep or horse. There are many animals everywhere. We're not used to such scenes, so we look around in ecstasy, gazing at 6-year-old children who ride their horses superbly, leading their animals to pasture. In summertime, when they do not go to school, nomad children calmly perform this important duty while they spend the winter in the nearest city to attend schools. Thus, they spend most of the year far from their families. We are now off to Karakoram, some 370 kilometers from Ulaanbaatar. Mongolian ancient capital city is a destination full of charm. It has been the capital city of history's greatest empire, led by Genghis Khan. Who wanted it to be the center of his immense reign in 1220. In 1388, the Manchu brought it to the ground. Its remains were used in 1586 to build Erdentzu, the first Buddhist monastery of Mongolia. Erdenitsu Monastery managed to survive the Russian destructions at the beginning of the 20th century. There used to be about 1,000 monasteries in Mongolia. Now there are 10, and only 3 of them still perform their religious activities. AIFO works also in Bayanongor. Thanks to microcredits, people with disability can have access to small financial aids and start their business, which is often a craft. Their products are then sold and become good means of support. We observe the skill with which handcrafts are made. Clothes, toys, musical instruments, stone jewelry. A boy has just finished his handicraft, the Mongolian traditional instrument with a horse's head, the Morin Ksur. Here we meet some deaf girls who explain us with super real enthusiasm and passion how they work. Their deafness has probably been caused by excessive dosage of antibiotics they were given during childhood, a fact that was really common in the past. We're struck by these people's cheerfulness and energy. We take leave of our new friends with the promise to carry their smiles forever in our hearts. The Gobi Desert extends for roughly 3,000 kilometers from east to west and far south of the country, and covers approximately 1/3 of Mongolia, an area as big as the whole of France. The visitor is struck by the immense variety of landscapes it contains, mountains, sand dunes, or clay earth cracked by the strong heat that reigns here. We have spent some time with the nomad family and got the chance to experience this people's legendary hospitality, due also to their privileged relationship with the natural environment. For them, welcoming passing travelers is quite normal, even if they are strangers. Nobody is refused a hot meal, a bed to rest, a fire to keep them warm. Welcome here is really spontaneous and moving. Milk is the base of Mongolian diet. It is used to cook soups, cheese, drinks. Camel milk has a high nutritive value, and Mongolians, just like any other nomad people, appreciate it quite a lot. Nomad shepherds are reluctant to sell their surplus milk, even if it is in great demand. Traditions, in fact, suggest to put it aside for important guests and the poor. Camels provide other means of support. Their dried dung is collected by children and used to light the fire inside the iron stove found in the center of every ger. After the pleasant restoration in the ger, we continue our journey to arrive in Gobi, about 200 kilometers inside the Gobi Desert, in a wonderful oasis. Behind it stands the mountain of Altai chain, mother and protector, that during the rigid winter saves the oasis from the blizzards. Most physical disabilities are caused by falling from horseback, road accidents, and severe frostbite when temperatures reach extremely low levels. This is the main reason for such a high percentage of people with disability. Injuries or fractures, which would heal completely if treated in hospital, become permanent disabilities for these people. People with disability in the more isolated areas of this country are assisted by the feldshers, health operators who work in rural communities. Because of the vastness of these territories and the difficulty in communications between the various areas, these operators do a valuable job in assisting people who would be otherwise too far from the nearest health center to be helped. The feldshers, after receiving proper formation, are responsible, along with the district doctors, summons, of the realization of AIFO's CBR projects. They single out people with disabilities and evaluate their needs and priorities, giving information and suggestions on how to improve their life standards. Here in Gobi, we meet a feldsher who travels daily long distances on horseback to follow up patients in the areas further away, and sometimes is away from the medical center for several days to complete her rounds. Apart from carrying out proper physical rehabilitation, she takes care of the formation of the disabled and their families, so that they are able to deal better with the situation. We watch her giving advice and indications to Ulsi Dagva, a 28-year-old poliomyelitic boy, and to his family about the daily exercises to strengthen the atrophied muscles of his legs so that he can improve his mobility. Her name is Chimidori, and she is an important person, respected and well loved by the entire community. Our journey has been an experience that has touched us deeply, and we will never forget the welcome and hospitality received from the people we have met, but also the proud dignity reflected in their eyes, the gazes of the children of the clouds, as they are called, because like the clouds, they travel with the wind and the seasons, towards the most remote angles of this country, wonderful but at the same time hostile. The main purpose of the project was to improve the ability of the National Federation of Mongolian Disabled People Organizations and of partner organizations. In promoting and defending the rights of people with disability, results can be emphasized mainly in two spheres. Firstly, the National Federation and its members have been strengthened and are now in possession of trained human resources. They are fully conscious of human rights and can better sustain the rights of people with disability. Secondly, the managerial and organizational capacity of the Federation has been improved, thanks to the training of several persons. This training manual about the rights of people with disability is the result of perceived needs and Mongolian DPO's situation analysis. The manual is aimed mainly at DPOs and at the families of people with disability, so that they can take part in the process of monitoring and implementing the UN Convention on the Rights of People with Disability.